Hello, Soul Gardeners, and welcome back to Chapter 3, Sun and Aries of Meditation Vibration. I'm Julie Zipper, and I am your Mindful Cruise Director. Okay, so here we are, Chapter 3. It is the time of celebrating Aries. I just love you. I hope you have had a fabulous birthday month. I hope you're still continuing to have a fabulous birthday month. And I just want to celebrate the ego, the sense of self, the fearlessness, the courageousness, and the fun in each and every part of you who are watching. Okay, so what are we doing this week? Well, the last 2 weeks we've been visiting the ego and talking about the care and management of your ego. And what I keep saying, and I can't say it enough, it's all good because it's all God. God is in the humanness. That means that God is in your ego. So no sticking it in the back trunk of your car. Have it in the passenger seat. You're the divine emanation of God. You're in the driver's seat. You're your higher wisdom self, all right? So it can be there, and it's okay to be there beside you. So today, I want to talk about ego stories. Last week, we talked about fears, and I hope you did the process. And if you didn't, and if you're experiencing fears this week, go back and revisit it. It's a great process to work with. And this week, I want to talk about these stories that we tell ourselves. What are these stories? Well, they're actually limiting beliefs a lot of times. A story such as, I can't have it all. Or, I can't do this because I didn't have the proper education for it. Or, I can't heal my body because the medical world doesn't say I can. Or, I can't have this beautiful, wonderful relationship because no one in my family ever did. What are all these stories that we're telling ourselves and driving ourselves crazy with? And you know that it's a limiting belief because it feels heavy, it feels constrictive, literally it feels limiting. And here's a great phrase for you. If that were true for me, would I be more free? If it were true that I couldn't enjoy a beautiful, fulfilling, long-term relationship because no one in my family ever had that, would that feel free to me? No. So I'm not going to tell myself that story anymore. I'm going to choose to believe that I can have that. Why? Because I'm my own soul, and I get to have it all. And the love that I have for myself gets to be outpictured in the love that someone else expresses to me and that I express to somebody else. Now that feels good. So I want you to do 2 steps with this. First of all, I want you to go over the stories that you're telling you about you. All right? So what are all these stories, these limiting beliefs, these shoulds, these I should have by this time, I should be doing this, I shouldn't be doing that. And notice how you feel, okay? And then step away from it and look at it and ask yourself, if this were true for me, would I be more free? And if the answer is no, then put in something else. Put in the thing that makes you feel free. Put in the thing that feels true. And then the second step is, I want you to go into stories you have about other people. You know, these stories, oh, that person, if only he would get his stuff together, he'd be really successful. Oh, if only he would work on this issue, then maybe he could bring more money into our household. Okay? These are limiting beliefs that you're holding for somebody else. And while they might be supported by material evidence, don't forget, we're connected. We're part of a whole. What you choose to believe for somebody else in your mind, you're choosing to contribute that energy to them, and it's also to yourself. So, go over those limiting beliefs with someone else, all right? And then take a step back and ask yourself that question. And then if the answer is no, I wouldn't be more free if this were true for me, then reword it, reconfigure it, and know that what you're doing for somebody else, you're doing for yourself too. How great is that? So, as we step into the meditation portion of this is where it gets really fun. Because if we can create so easily and so consistently these negative, limiting stories about ourselves, guess what? We can create with just as much ease and grace these positive stories about ourselves. And so this way, we're working with our ego in a positive way that supports who we are and who we want to be. Okay, that was for Skip. Skip Jennings, love you, urban mystic. Okay, so turning within, And just breathing in the joy that is here, breathing in the infinite possibility that is here now. And breathing out all those negative stories that don't support who you are or want to be, or don't support who your loved one is or wants to be. So just breathe in the good and just exhale all that other stuff. And so now begin to say, oh my goodness, if I'm going to tell a story, I might as well tell a good one. And so just begin to create this story in your mind. You can even make it a fairy tale. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Julie. And she got to have it all. She worked hard on her mindfulness practices. She showed up every day for herself. She cared for her body. She cared for her life. She cared for her friends. And she drew to her financial good enough to support travel and adventures and dinners with friends and vacations for friends. She called in a beloved that was a pure reflection of who she is, and they got to up-level the consciousness of the planet together. And she had beautiful children who helped her to learn to grow and to remember more of who she is. And she got to contribute her gifts to this planet. And she lived in her authentic truth. That's the story I'm creating for myself. What story are you creating for yourself? Spend as much time as you want here. And when you're done, take all that juicy, good, positive vibes that you've created and please breathe them down into Mother Earth. Oh boy, does she need our love right now. Okay, my friends? So just breathe that down and just picture all that love just going deep within the core of the earth. I'll see you next week for the question and answer episode. Live, love, be. So God